Hey, welcome everybody. I am your host, Jay Hill with Studio 6 Paranormal Entertainment Podcast and my co-host, Shane Feek. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. Tonight we have a really good show. Chasing Paranormal is in the house, actually, and we are excited to have them. We had them on last year, I think it was, or the year before, and they've just been fantastic guests. So without further ado, let's bring these two cats on. Hey,
how's it going, guys?
Hey,
Hello.
what's up? Thanks again for coming on again. This has been, a long time in the making. So you guys have really been kicking ass lately in the paranormal field.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. No. And I've seen some of your content as of late, and you guys are just tearing it up. I mean, the jailhouse thing was amazing. You know what I mean? I mean that intro to that whole.
Oh man, I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, you're the editor, so you do a lot of that stuff, I mean,
Yeah, I really just learned starting off with Chasing Paranormal. Actually, I was more into the music world with Lexi and stuff before this, and made flyers and all that. And I just understood computers and really went for it. And
you played guitar, did you not?
yeah, I play guitar in a metal band. Yep.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I play guitar,
regional
but I'm not
stuff.
that good.
Yeah, it was
Right.
more regional stuff. I mean, I didn't really make it to anything big, but I played around
Right.
for quite a few years. She went with me everywhere, and we had a blast.
That's cool.
Right. Well, that got to do what you love, and if you love doing
absolutely.
that, then you know what I mean.
Yep.
But yeah, I was into music too when I was younger, and realized that really wasn't for me. But now it's like I do what I do now because I love what I do. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, tell us a little bit about what you guys been doing. Since last year. I know you had some health issues last year.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I went.
You're better now. I mean, and you look good. You guys look great. And I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy. I'm so happy that you guys, have kind of weathered some of that storm. And tell us a little bit about what's been going on and what your life's been like since last summer.
Well, so November 13th, 2021, I had a seizure. And that was kind of a one-off. I have not had another one. I mean,
Awesome.
It's been,
That's
everything's going good. I was medicated for it for quite a while. I had that November 13th, yeah, 21, and then took it easy for about 3 months. And after that, we went and filmed at the Boyd House. And we released that one in December of this year, which had kind of a delay, because we wanted to push it sooner, but I just didn't want to push myself too hard or anything. And Lexi was the best support throughout the whole thing. And we had great results from the Boyd House episode. I mean, that was December 13th. We released that one. And that's 3,000 views we've hit for that one. And
Wow, that's good.
yeah. And I mean, it's cool because numbers aren't everything, but the idea of just teaching people new history, that didn't know it before is really rewarding. And know that between the Big Winnie and this, we've reached over 30,000 people just in 2 episodes. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool feeling. And so with the jail one, we went there at the beginning of November. Yeah, we filmed there in November, and this is in Hampton, Iowa, kind of an off-the-grid town by Mason City. And she's from there, and we've always looked at this jail even before we were investigators. Like, you've always looked at it, and we were just always like, oh, this place has a story about it, and we kept reading, and she pulled up a story through research that there's paranormal claims there. So we reached out, didn't hear nothing for quite a while. I mean, this is something we've been working on for quite a while. I mean, and they reached back and said, hey, our employees have had some claims here.
Wow.
People are kind of subject to the idea of us filming at this place because it's a historic jail. Nobody's ever had paranormal claims there, but it's 140 years old.
Right.
So, I mean, through time, different owners, and we had pretty good findings at this place. I mean, and it's a place that tells a lot of stories without question. I mean, how many people off of I-35 have been in this jail over the course of 100 years that it was operational? So I don't know. It was a good opportunity to film there, and we cut some really cool stuff, I feel.
Right on.
Yeah.
So when you got into the paranormal and the aspect, I'll kind of go backwards a little bit.
No problem.
What was the thing that drove you the most? Was it learning about the history of certain locations, or was it just the fact that being in a haunted location, or what kind of drove you to, kind of, really get into the paranormal?
The history, first of all.
Yeah, I mean, the history is our biggest thing. She's more of the paranormal believer than myself. When I came in, I was entirely skeptic believer. I mean, that was weird.
That was weird.
And get ghosts in the Matrix.
Speaking of the paranormal,
right.
No, like back to what I was saying. I've always been kind of the skeptic guy. She's always been like, "No, it's real." Told me stories, and it's like, we were gonna the general idea of Chase Paranormal was gonna be a podcast. So we were going to just start it off that way, and she decided to do the filming. And we've always been around
cemetery. We were going to record ourselves anyways.
Yeah, we were going to record ourselves anyways. Yeah. And, and we had the camera gear.
Terrence, that's a glitch in the Matrix.
And yeah, we just invested in a few cameras and went forward with the documentary vibe, and the paranormal, we've just always had a calling for it, but the history was what came first for us.
Right.
History's over. And that's why we're trying to find historic buildings that kind of have a paranormal claims that people do not know about.
I'm the same type of person. I mean, that's what draws me into that. It's just like being a kid in a candy store. I mean, there's so many different things that are available to you history-wise that people don't know about. And
yes,
that's where it's at.
Yeah, I know, because we went to Charleston on our honeymoon and stuff. What drew us there right away was the graveyards. I mean, we went to the graveyards, the historic 300-year-old graveyards, and we've always had this love for the history more than the paranormal. But then, just now, it's just had a calling for us. We're just we're going for it, and I feel like we've documented some pretty credible things on our little chase that we've been going on for the paranormal. I think it's pretty fun. So
So you guys moved to Iowa for a little bit, did you not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, for a brief period of time.
I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times.
No, I lived in Iowa for years and I hated it. So yeah, but so were you there very long? I mean, I don't think you guys were there very long.
Only there for 6 months.
No,
it was
6
just
months.
A crappy, unfortunate temporary situation.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you guys move back to where you were before? Or did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So
I'm back to that area.
Are you still that place that you investigated? What was it? The first place that
Big Winnie?
Yeah. Are you guys still working with that, or?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
No, we got some big things coming up with that one. That'll be in the future. Definite revisit. Yeah. That's all we'll say. And it's going to be that'll be a fun one for sure.
Okay.
So when you guys were in Iowa, did you guys do any investigations at the Farrar School?
That was one place that was it was booked out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I did it. That's quite a while ago, years ago now. But yeah, it was a great place. It was awesome.
Yeah, no, I've always heard about the kids in that place that run through the halls and stuff. I'm like,
yeah,
that's
yeah, that would be kind of crazy.
Yeah, that school's got weird stuff.
You would never think. that me personally would think that. I don't know why schools would even be haunted. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just
probably history, the cafeteria food,
right? Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what you guys have coming up in the future here right now. I mean, from where you're at right now, like you have something new in the works.
With the new episode that's coming up, it'll be coming out in the spring.
Okay.
This will be the one at Franklin County Historic Jail in Hampton, Iowa, built in 1880. It was fully operational for 100 years.
Okay.
And this building has been sitting there. Somebody completely renovated the building. It was run down. They rebuilt it, restored it. Original cells there with lever lock system, the only one I guess still around besides a few. And and then after that, we'll have another filming at a place in Minnesota that isn't well known to many. It's a historic place in Minnesota, and we're excited to give details on that in the future. Okay. And then, of course, Winnie. I mean, that would be right. Yeah. So I mean, we have 3 things coming up in the near future, 3 filmings.
Okay. Now, are you also? How much editing do you do, like in an episode? I mean, how many hours do you spend in your personal, like? I mean,
so you mean for me starting the process of an episode?
Yeah.
To the end of it?
Yeah.
quite a couple days, quite a
Couple
few days.
Yeah, a few
I mean,
days,
honestly, so here's the thing
Shane's up
about
there
it.
laughing,
Here's the
going,
thing
"Yeah,
about
that,
it. So
that sounds about
I
right."
kind of build it out. I don't care. I kind of get my own scheme. I'll build it out with one camera.
Right.
And then
Yep.
I'll kind of match the audio, and then I'll make your B-roll side shots, blah, blah, blah. But we kind of went in documentary. You can invest in big cameras. We have good enough stuff to show you what you're going to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen to it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the
it ever comes
documentary
to
is where to go too. The documentary.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what it's all
mean?
about. Because I feel like if you give the people the experience that they're there with the handheld, it's kind of like it's not always the best shots, but you find some cool stuff sometimes.
yeah.
It's raw footage, and I mean, we have good IR and everything, and I mean, I don't know.
So how long do you spend?
I spend probably an hour a minute sometimes, and then I'll go back and redo it again. And then I'll build a whole part out. And it's just between sound editing because you have to get the voices to come through right through all of the footage at the beginning.
Right.
I mean, it's every building's different, reverbs, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff to it. And then,
Yep.
I mean, to build a whole episode for sure. I mean, 40 minutes would be about 3 to 4 days of time.
Wow.
If you
That makes sense.
Yeah, and you don't want to over contain yourself or you'll hate it.
Yeah.
If you do like 10 hours straight, unless you have the ultimate passion, and all the time to do it, it can get you sometimes, man. It's really.
Well, I work in a recording studio, so I know how it is. We're only doing audio, but.
Yeah, no, and I mean, and it's just all the different audio because we have 4 different audio devices recording when we're doing the episodes, and I mean, camera, audio to Zoom H1M we use. I mean, it's all this different stuff and going through everything and the audio analysis, and I mean, there's a lot to it, man.
If somebody was listening today, talking about the audio recorders and stuff, what would you recommend for somebody just starting out in the paranormal, just to have some recorders or even camera? What would you suggest that they use?
Well, for an EVP recorder, I mean, I'm all about the Zoom H1N.
Yeah,
I have had no issues with that. And that thing we have used for interviews to everything. I mean, that you can hook headphones up to it and use the mic out and literally hear it amplified in your ears. I mean, it's a live EVP it's truly incredible. That's my hands down favorite.
And honestly, Amazon has some pretty good camcorders.
Absolutely. No, you can go on Amazon and you can be gear snobs. You can go Panasonic, Canon, not everybody can afford that.
Right.
Not everybody can afford that. You can find good 4K cameras with IR. It's just you got to get used to the batteries dying constantly.
Right.
Sure.
So you got to have backup, man. Because
that's the biggest thing I think with some investigators is the fact that some of them forget their batteries. They have one battery, and that's kind of like, oh crap, did somebody bring batteries?
Man. There's times where we've went into a location and we've investigated, like the past episode. Every single one of our batteries just kept dying constantly. I mean, there's a lot of footage. We couldn't even, one camera, it was just B-roll footage on me hitting it. I couldn't, the second camera, I couldn't even see the footage because it just stopped recording. So it's like, well, that sucks. So a whole entire segment's one camera, but I can't really cut that away. It's just, that's the way it is, man. You don't know what to expect.
Right. I think I have 3 or 4 handheld 4K cameras that I don't even use.
Are you serious?
I mean, yes, they're sitting in a case. I've had them there for probably 2 years.
Wow.
And I bought them when 4K was really popular. And I don't even, there's a lot of stuff that I have that I don't use that I need to get rid of.
Well, you can always send it my way. I'll take anything.
I'm sure. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about some of the other equipment. Do you have REM pods? Do you have, if you want to explain what the REM pods is for people who don't know?
We actually use, I'm more about the K2. I like the old school style, man. I'm all about the old school. I like SB7s. A lot of people hate on SB7s. We use them all the time, and I have gotten absolutely incredible results of matched.
Yeah, they seem fine.
Man, I'm serious. Like me going in as a skeptic, we have found incredible evidence from the first episode to the second to the third, and it's like,
don't
I
tell,
can't go against it, man.
Don't tell Shane that you use a K2.
no, man. And we've done it in certain areas. I understand that there can be interference. There's certain places where I'm like, no, man. There's wires you cannot count whatsoever. I'm not done with that. But in certain times, I mean, if you're in certain areas that do not have electricity, man, it's credible. How couldn't it be? You know, where are you going to get
mm-hmm.
electromagnetic spikes on something if there's no wires around, live electricity?
Right. Have you ever used an 11, an SB11?
I've not used an SB11. Isn't that the 2-in-1?
Yeah, that's kind of like that. It's a bigger one. I've never used one.
Yeah, like Katie says, the 7's better than the 11 anyway.
Yeah.
I was reading when we were investing in it, I was like, SB7 or 11. A lot of people went with the 7.
Yeah,
right.
Smaller, lighter,
and they have the sensors on it now.
Yep.
The temperature change sensor and stuff. So yeah, we have a REM pod too. I mean, it's one of the teddy bear things.
Yeah, a little bear, but we've never gotten anything.
No, and a REM pod's pretty much, if something interferes with it, it's going to go off. And we have never had anything ever go off REM pod for us.
Right.
What we've
right.
had.
Right.
So,
I have one of the original REM pods.
Oh, really?
The round ones. Yeah. I pulled the trigger and bought one, and it took me a long time to get one. And I finally get one, and I hardly ever use it. So it sits in a case along with my cameras. So,
did you ever get anything with it when you used it?
I have actually a place. I can't say where because I just can't. But I have gotten it. It has worked, and it kind of freaked the people out that were there. And which is always a great, expression on their face. They kind of freak out. But with me, that's, nothing. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Actually, it's more or less. I think that's probably the more reliable one for EMF. I like what it does. I've had good things happen with it. I have also a couple other spirit box radios type things that I've gotten at the same location that has worked. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's personal preference, And there's so many people that swear by this or swear by that. Use what you feel is comfortable. Use what you want to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But
absolutely.
I mean,
everybody learns their ways with certain devices. That's just the way it is.
Right.
Well, even my sensor board basically has a REM pod built in.
Right.
I mean, it's a little different, but yeah.
Right, and even Shane's device, your new one, which is the CB radio. That is
CB radio to the other side, basically.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Cool.
That is awesome.
If Shane here is like the guy's pretty much a genius, so he creates these things and tests them out, and yeah, it's just I'm glad that I paired up with him just because of the fact that I could pick his brain about a lot of different things about like frequencies and stuff like that. So it works.
You guys can too. If you guys have questions or want to know things.
Oh, yeah, I've shot you some stuff in the past. No worries.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about some of your experiences that have happened while you're on the investigations. Let's talk about something that you just totally freaked you guys out. I want to hear a good story
here.
What's the best one you've had so far on the
Lexi probably has good stories.
Yeah, Lexi.
She has a little bit more of a. I don't know. She has more of a. They go after her more than me.
Because I was just gonna say that her frequency is a little bit higher and her light's a little bit brighter. So, but that's just who she is. You know what I mean? And I've told her that before. That they're attracted to Lexi.
Yes.
No, the last place we went, I mean, straight up, we locked her in solitary.
Yeah.
Into a solitary confinement space in pitch black for how long?
It was a little over an hour.
Okay, do tell that.
That's pretty
story.
awesome. Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, tell that story.
I mean, it's not like a lot super like happened, but it's more of like the feeling, and I don't know. I just felt like there's one point I just felt like so overcome with just like, I don't know, anger, and like my head just like drops and I just like sit like this.
Yeah.
I don't move for like
probably 5 minutes.
For a long time. I don't move. It's like 100% still, and the whole time, like, I don't know. It was just weird. It was weird. I just felt really angry and like, why the hell am I here? And I don't know. It was just weird.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it just like snapped out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because
Katie
and in
says
the
Lexi
moment,
is magnetically inclined. Yes, and I would agree with that. I mean, she's, they're attracted to you in that
It
sense.
happened at Boyd House too. That time, all of a sudden, my head just like drops.
yeah,
And then
man.
it's
There's
just
if
like-
you go check out our Boyd House episode, it's in the first experiment we do where we have EVP and we're doing an SB7 at the time, and her head drops, and at the time where it drops, a anomaly comes down and goes out, in like the same exact time her head drops.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, and then
wow.
when she
She was
lifts her head up,
ducking.
she has like no pupils at all, and that's insane.
I didn't even know that happened until we
Yeah.
watched it.
And then in this one,
Wow.
she drops her head like this, and then something will show up too on the screen at the same time. And we never have much really show up on the screen. You know, we have hours
Right.
and hours of footage.
Right.
And in
right.
this
Yeah.
one time, you actually see something. So
Yeah.
it's pretty
Right.
cool. And this is a solitary moment because she did this because I did the Boyd House crawl
I'm
space.
super claustrophobic. I really hated it.
And solitary is no joke.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, it's
but
like you're in a
let's-
lunchbox. It's
but-
horrible.
in regards to the jailhouse, I've never been in a jailhouse like that, like a haunted setting. So, what was the initial feeling, or what was the initial when you guys first walked in there? What was it like? I mean, what was it? Explain that emotion.
There's a lot of mixed emotions.
Heaviness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, just a heavy
Right.
feeling. It's
Right.
not like
right.
I don't know. You could just feel the history. That's what I'm saying. You know, have you ever been in the building and you just feel you could just feel it in the place.
Well, and there's two parts. Like, it's the jail connected to like the sheriff's house and stuff. So like over in the house felt
Yeah, it was a mom
it
and
was
pop
okay,
jail.
you know.
Okay.
So yeah, they served the jailers. The sheriff's wife did. Like they
Oh,
served
okay.
jailers food and all that. So it's
When did that jail cease?
in the 1980s it did.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
It was built in 1880 and it went until the 1980s. It was fully operational.
Okay. What was the name of that place?
Franklin County Historic Jail in Hampton, Iowa.
It's a Airbnb.
Yeah, now it's an Airbnb.
And you can sleep in the jail cells and everything.
Yeah,
if you rent
it's
it out.
generally
That's
like
cool.
a jail role play.
That's
You
cool.
can go in and they literally have outside gated in.
Yeah, if you
Wow.
choose, you can do the role play. Well, they'll cuff you and throw you
Yeah.
in jail and everything.
The Franklin what now? What is it? Franklin.
County Historic Jail.
Okay. I want people to see a picture of it. That's why I'm looking it up. So
Oh, it's really pretty.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool building.
there it is.
I'd like to put my sensor board in there for a couple days. See what I find.
Pretty high tech board.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 So basically, it's a data logger, but it logs 26 different environmental parameters all at the same time every second. And so everything that ever happens in the immediate area to it gets logged with a date timestamp every second. So, and then it syncs itself to video. So I can look at something in the video and go like, hey, I wonder what was happening when that event happened. Or I can go the other way and say, okay, I see a blip in the data. What was happening in the room at the time that happened? And so with the logging like that, of course, you've got, evidence that you can hold and see and go through and do statistics on. And so, it definitely helps out in investigations.
Oh
That's
yeah, I
awesome.
can't imagine. That would be
And it's one small portable box instead of a whole van full of equipment. I can bring that in, set it down, plug it in, turn on a video camera or two, and I'm ready for investigation.
let it do its
Yeah.
thing.
Well, and we even have automated investigations now where you literally leave a laptop and a Bluetooth speaker, and it will literally wake up in the middle of the night, random times, and do like a 10-minute EVP session all by itself and log it. So you can come in, drop the thing off, set it up, make sure it's going to work, watch it do a session, hit the door and head out and lock the place up. And
wow.
so you have no contamination from human noise. You don't have
Absolutely.
any of that. And then you can just go back and look at the data, later and do all your statistics, et cetera, and find out, okay, if the thing asked them to change the EMF in the room, well, did they change the EMF or not? That kind of stuff. So,
Wow.
That's crazy.
so if you guys ever want to get together sometime and I'll bring the device and we can do an investigation together, you guys can film and I'll run the
That'd be
techie goodies. Yeah, you guys let
That
me
would be
know.
cool. That would really, honestly, that really interests us. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Using math to do ghost hunting is a little different than normal people, I guess.
That's
All right.
cool though.
Let's see if I can't get this up. There we go. All right. Let's see if I can't get this thing up here. I just started doing this last week too.
No worries.
Yeah, I gave him the hint to push it on the other screen. That makes it easier. Oh,
There
yeah.
it is.
That's where it is.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Either one.
Yeah, the left side's the house that where the sheriff and his wife and family live. The right side's where where the jail cells are. So,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Nice. Oh yeah, it looks like they redid quite a bit of it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they did.
definitely.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right. So
It's cool.
you also have how many investigations would you say that you've done in the last couple of years?
Well, I mean, depends on how you say investigation. No, we don't go to all like the top places, but we like to go cemetery strolling. We like to do all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
We
Wife
live in
and
an
I do
area where
that.
it's really pick or choose. I mean, you don't have many, and a lot of places don't like you to do it.
Yeah.
A lot of places, oh, we don't want people to know that there's ghosts here, or they don't want people to just think it's a haunted location when it's a running establishment or something, you know. So a lot of
Right,
places
right.
don't want us to go
Right.
there. So I mean, cemeteries, we're always going to cemeteries together. People
Yeah.
don't believe in haunted cemeteries, some do. I mean, I believe you can get feelings there sometimes. But
Yeah.
investigations, I mean, not many besides
It's a little more difficult when it's just
the two.
us two, and we don't have like a team that's pitching in money, whereas you have to pay for everything everywhere, you know.
Sure.
Right. Right.
It's not, yeah.
So
I
it's
mean,
a little more difficult. We can't do a bunch of them, you know.
Well,
But-
and plus the fact that you guys have a family, you know.
oh,
Right,
absolutely. Yeah, no,
exactly.
no. And I mean,
Yeah.
and we're kind of
We've
just
got 2
documenting.
kids too.
And
Yeah.
this is new to us in every way, and we're just kind of documenting it as we go. You know,
Sure,
Right,
we've
sure.
watched
right,
people,
right.
and best experience is through learning. And we've met some awesome people along the way, man. We
Oh,
really
I'm
have.
sure.
You guys included. And I mean, not personally, but even this way, it's awesome. We've met some really cool people. People know a lot of stuff, and you learn stuff as you go. So, and I feel
Right.
it's just going to keep opening up ideas for us to go to new places, and people will allow us to go. Hopefully, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I don't know. There's some places that we have our eye on, but it's just don't hear much back. So
Yeah. What's up, Adam? Thanks
How's it going,
for
Adam?
tuning in.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing pretty well. I mean, he's got a lot going on too. So it's kind of like, you know, everybody's kind of got their own thing going on, and things are
Yeah, no,
kind of
like,
getting a little crazy.
And one thing we don't do, like we're not going to people's homes and investigating. A lot of people do
Right.
that. That's
Right,
not our
right.
strong suit. I'm not messing with that.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't.
That's a whole new ballpark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I-
man, that's a different ballpark.
yeah,
We've had people
yeah.
message us, and we've considered it. And after sitting and thinking, it's like I'm not bringing stuff home to my kids. I don't know, like if that's a real
Yeah.
thing or what, but I'm not even chancing it. You
Yeah,
know, we go in with
yeah.
a good way. We go out. No, but I don't know if you're going to someone's house and what's there. You know, you just
Right.
Sure.
Right.
you just don't. That's all I'm trying to say. And
Yeah.
we're
Been there,
not
done
ready.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
no
man. I'm
thanks.
just
Yeah.
that's not where I feel comfortable
No.
yet. You know, I'm not
Yeah.
ruling it out ever. It's just right now we're focusing on the historic places that people don't know about. So
Right.
a lot of research
Give me
goes
a
into it.
haunted building. You know, a work. You know, like a
Yeah.
establishment or something. You know, a store or, you know, church or something along those lines. You know what I mean? Something that I just. But yeah, I would totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, no, and there's people in Minnesota there's people in Minnesota and Minneapolis that I don't know them personally, but that's what they do. I mean, they go to people's houses. and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
their
yeah.
strong suit, and that's their cup of tea. And they can, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I have. There's a couple of people I know that do that. I did that initially when I first started out, and then I
Oh, really?
stopped. Yeah, I did it with Wisconsin Paranormal Research, which I now had officially ended because I just wanted to focus on this.
Awesome,
And,
man.
you know, other you know, I still do investigations. I still have a guy that was part of the old team, and I talk to him often, and sometimes we'll do walkthroughs together on locations and this and that. So that's pretty cool. But other than that, I just didn't have enough time to finagle everything.
Sure.
So, but
sure.
yeah, but
No, and I mean, like, and we started filming in September of 21, and 1, 2, 3, and now we're going 4 or 5, so 5 different places. At least we can show people these places. That's kind of the thing about it.
Right.
Bring some stories to people that haven't heard. That's fun.
Your video content, your editing is awesome. I mean, I have to say that.
Yeah, it is. It's good.
It's very good. And
I will tell you this, Jay. I am not good enough to add stuff to my videos, though. I will say that about Chasing Paranormal. I might be good at editing. I don't know how to add like effects to my videos and make stuff drop. No, so just being clear on that.
Oh,
I appreciate the compliment.
That is super easy. I do that on my phone. So that's how I make my videos for like my promos and stuff. Oh yeah, I have all that.
Yeah, I use Adobe Premiere Pro. That's what I use.
Oh, that's a nice program.
Yeah. Right away I just researched, and people said you can use DaVinci and stuff, and I was like, well, I'll just go in with Adobe. I'll just learn it.
I have Vegas on my computer.
Vegas. Yeah. I've heard that's another good one. I know a guy that.
It's a very good one, but man, that is like that learning curve sucks.
Yeah, I use Cinelera.
If you know how to use a computer, you can learn Premiere Pro. They have tutorials. They have stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of the fading and audio. It's all different stuff in there.
I use Filmago.
Okay.
And it's just it's not cheap, but I mean it's a smaller thing. It's for your phone, and I do all my editing. I create all my videos on my phone. It takes me a couple hours.
Wow.
I mean it's just I just started using that, and then I tried to use Vegas. And Vegas there was so much more that I could do, but it was just so, I'm like, okay, I can handle 2 hours, but I'm not going to be doing this for 30 seconds for 4 hours. You know what I mean? Because once you open up that can, it's like, oh, I could do this. Oh, I could do this.
Oh, yeah.
Or how about this?
Oh, yeah.
And then you get carried away. And then it's kind of like after 3-4 hours, like my wife would be like, where are you at? What are you doing? Dinner was 2 hours ago, and so I just have to
just tell her you're on the other side. You'll be back.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, no, like that trailer, I made that up in an hour. I mean, the new one that we made, it just kind of, you get used to it. It's not
right. Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh yeah. I could take something and make it about an hour or whatever, but I'm really particular on the content of how I want to make it. The sound has to be good and all this other stuff, and it's just like, man, I could make this so much better. And it's like, stop. Just, it's fine the way it is, But
we like to be kind of cryptic without giving too much away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah. No.
And I sit there and kind of just brain it with her. Like, how do we do it?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, have you guys, when you go through some of your evidence, or when you're editing or whatever, is there something that you catch late in the game, like when you're at, and you're like, holy crap, we never caught that, and we've seen it a half dozen times.
Yeah. Like I was working the other day, and Lexi was going over some footage, and she was looking at stuff, and then you just catch stuff you didn't catch before. You're like, wow, okay, that's there. Your sounds, you hear, you're pointing out so much stuff to me you were catching.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people, there's a lot of people who do the editing and for paranormal teams and goes over that stuff. People don't realize of the time that people spend on creating the content for, YouTube or for a show or for whatever. And if they do miss stuff, but I mean, there's sometimes that people go over that stuff that are religiously just, they go over it over and over because they know they're missing something or, and it's just like, wow. It's like, that's dedication.
Yeah, and I got terabytes of raw video that I don't even basically look at except to look at to see if, if I saw data spikes or whatever. Hey, was there anything happening then? So I'm just different. I don't publish any of the stuff. So, but I still have every video that's ever been made, every data logging, every picture, every audio. I still have them on my server. So.
Right.
Really? That's a lot of stuff.
Well, it helps being an IT guy because I actually have a full server system in the house, so I can just back up my data to the server. And it's like, oh yeah, I want to pull this video. I can just go do a server search and pull it back.
If we ever want anybody to take any private stuff, we'll just take it to Shane's house because he's got a private server.
Yeah, I'll just store it. It's great, but like I say, I don't produce content. I don't put things out for people to look at. But I do a lot of analysis, and I use the video and the analysis just to find out either what was going on, whatever. Because most of the time it ends up being contamination by a human. Somebody walked through the room, set off all kinds of sensors, or whatever.
Right.
People not turning their cell phones off.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, excuse me. Last year, I think that you sent me that big file, that zip file of when you were on that ship in Michigan.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. When I interviewed these guys a couple years ago, you weren't there. You were somewhere else, because I don't think that you were on the show. Because I was.
No, I think I missed that one somehow.
Okay, you need to tell these guys this story, because I love this story, and a lot of people who are just tuning in and following us will love this story. If you like ghost stories, this is a good one.
Yeah. So we were on the LST 393 in the Muskegon Harbor. It's a World War II ship. It saw time at Normandy on D-Day. So it was in the Battle of World War II full on. And it survived. And of course it came back to the Great Lakes as it did all kinds of jobs on the Great Lakes as a civilian boat after it came back from the war. But anyways, it's a museum now. And so we went there and spent 3 days on that ship in investigation. So on about the second day, the wife and I were up in the wheelhouse and radio room. And I had noticed that, the original antennas from the 1940s are still up on the ship. So I went out to my car, got my ham radio, brought it in, hooked it up to those original antennas. And at first, you're just hearing the natural crackle. I'm tuning around, hearing some shortwave stations, some random stuff going on. And eventually, I noticed that up on the bulletin board, they still had the frequencies listed from the 1940s that they were using while they were communicating during the war. Mm-hmm. So I tuned my ham radio into those frequencies. And at first, nothing was really happening. And after maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, we started getting a storm coming in off of Lake Michigan. Well, what was happening was every time we had a big lightning strike out or a lightning show out on the lake, we would start having fade in sounds of an old 1940s preacher. He's like, and God said, la, la, la. And he kept going. This old time, like you'd listen to an antique radio voice.
No way.
A Southern Baptist kind of a preacher, and he kept coming in, but he would only come in when the lightning would go. And then as soon as the lightning faded off, he'd fade off again. Well, then after a little while, we'd start getting things. It would come in and be like, emergency, we've been hit, la, 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 all these different things. And you could hear, and then as soon as the lightning would stop, they'd fade right back down into the white noise of whatever. The entertaining thing is those frequencies, even nowadays, are only for ships out on the ocean. They are not supposed to have preachers. They are not supposed to have voices. They are not supposed to have anything but ship traffic, and occasionally you would hear a ship doing its, official traffic. But in between this, during that storm, you would literally hear old 1940s war broadcasts. You would hear voices of soldiers talking, we've been hit. And I have all the audio.
That's crazy.
Still.
Oh, that is incredible, man.
So basically, I don't know if the
That's
energy of the ship still had those memories in it.
I bet it was just otherworldly energy.
Yeah, when I hooked my radio to that antenna and, kind of merged the modern world and the ancient world, it was really cool. And I recorded because the computer was recording all the audio directly out of that ham radio. So I have the actual raw file straight off the radio. And it's pretty awesome.
Right. Yeah, just to be a fly on the wall, on the
Yeah, that ship
bulkhead
had a
of
lot
that
of
ship.
activity. It's crazy.
Right.
Crazy.
Is it in pretty decent shape or?
Oh yeah, it's a museum.
Really?
It's restored. It's mint. You can go down in the engine rooms. You can wander all over the place. They have tours, all kinds of stuff.
Now, how
It was
did
so
you
cool.
how did you get into letting you investigate?
Oh, I have friends that are in the paranormal world. They're like, oh hey, yeah, he needs to get in there because he's got cool equipment that we can do stuff with. And so they're like, oh yeah, we'll pull some strings. We'll get him in there. And so
Nice.
we got in there. So
Nice.
yeah, that's how I get in most places. I'd be like, all right, if you guys
Yeah.
let me in, I'll bring my cool stuff and you can see things you've never seen before and ghost hunting. And
Right.
they're like, oh yeah, we'll do that.
Right.
Let's
right.
go.
Let's go. We'll
Right.
do it.
Now,
It's
did
fun.
you videotape any of that?
No, we have photos of that room, but I have all the audio. I don't
Okay.
videotape much. We're not like normal investigators. We don't go around with video cameras and look for stuff.
Mhm.
Usually it's more of you bring in some lab equipment, you set up some things, you check a few things, and then you kind of sneak away and let it go. Or you come in and do an EVP session and then, or whatever, let it record some baseline for an hour or two and then come in and do a couple EVP sessions and specifically ask the entity's president to, make the temperature change. Can you change the barometric pressure? Can you affect the magnetic field in this room? Those kind of questions. And we give them about 30 seconds each time for
Right.
them to do that. So then I
Right.
can take that 30 seconds of data and video and I can compare it to the baseline statistically and say, okay, did they really do the thing that we told them to do or not? And you'd be surprised, in active locations, probably 20% of the time they'll do the thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll do multiple. I mean, they'll literally, okay, change the temperature. Yep. Okay, change the magnetic field. Yep. Change the radiation field. Yep. They will actually do it.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
It's
cool.
so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And the great thing is you have numbers to show people. You can say, all right,
You have actual numbers. Yeah.
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
can say,
Yeah, no,
here's the numbers,
yeah.
here's the video, here's the audio.
Yeah.
You can review it your own self. You can put your own math on it.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
You've got
Yeah.
something to show somebody.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So shifting
So-
gears a little bit.
Yep.
Have you guys had, when you guys have done an investigation, have you guys had something where you felt like something followed you home?
No, I haven't.
No. No, the only time is after the night we got home from Big Winnie. We were woken up by the smell. Random,
Yeah.
just in the middle of the night, woken up by the smell of the perfume they described, but like of just freshly baked cookies. And that's what they said that Grandma Bina always smelled like.
Oh, okay.
We, were contacted with her when we were
Oh, yeah,
there.
yeah.
And so it's just kind of weird. That was the only time, I guess, is when we woke up to the smell of cookies. But otherwise,
Right.
no.
Well, she was
No, I mean,
probably,
when we close out
yeah.
investigations, when we close out investigations, we make sure we do the proper things to.
Yeah, and we do
Where we
that,
go
but I've
out,
had
yeah.
stuff. I don't know as though it would actually follow. I think it's more like remote.
Yeah.
So we went to the Farrar School, and everything went there, and we got some stuff, but it wasn't. I mean, it was good, but not super excellent.
Yeah.
But then, like several weeks later, after we got home, we are in a residence doing a residential, and I'm looking at the sensor board data. And I'm like, what is all these crazy spikes and strange things? And I'm like, this ain't normal. So I went back to the video to figure out what was going on, just like I always do. Well, at that time, for that exact like minute and 40 seconds, I was talking about the Farrar School. And as soon as I stopped talking about it, because they, the people, when I was investigating, they were like, hey, so where you been before? And I was like, well, I just finished doing the Farrar School. And so I gave them, a minute and some little explanation about it. As soon as I stopped talking about it, it quit. I thought, okay, that's a little bit weird. So then fast forward another few weeks. I'm out in a cemetery. I got the sensor board out there. I'm sitting there with a friend. And of course, again, they asked me, so what you been up to lately? Where you been investigating? So I started talking about the Farrar School again. Well, when I went back and looked at the data was all nuts, had spikes all over the place and crazy for like 2 minutes and like 18 seconds while I was talking about the Farrar School. So that started to get even more weird. So then fast forward again, I was at the Van Buren Poorhouse. It's a museum local here that we investigate a lot of times.
Sorry.
And again, I'm talking about what we were doing and what's happening. And yet the third time I saw sensor board readings go all over the place, literally for like 45 seconds while I was talking about that.
Wow.
And it's never done it again. And sometimes now I've actually intentionally talked about it while the board is going, and it's never done it again. But for probably 2 months after I was there, every time I would mention it somewhere else while the board was running, I would get readings on the board totally not fitting the baseline of the location.
Just about the first. That's insane.
And so I don't know if something followed and attached, which I doubt. I think it was more like the school knew I was talking about it. And even though it's in Iowa and I'm in Michigan, it was able to bridge that.
And
that
I
gap.
have actually bridged that gap too. I did when I did an interview with Paranormal in the Funhouse.
Okay.
We bridged that gap when they were in Maryland, and I was in Lake Geneva, and we were using Spirit Box back and forth, but we were also communicating through Spirit Boxes to verify that what was here. They would ask, what is at Jay's location? And they would kind of go through that, and then they would words would come through, and so they would be able to see who was with me, because I was doing my show in an active location. You know what I mean? And so it was just weird how there is no, I guess, it's a connection, and there is no gap. It's all we bridge the gap, however we do it with our mind, or if we do it with whoever is more sensitive. It just depends.
Yeah,
now
distance doesn't seem to matter.
Right.
For ours, like what, 10 hours from me?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a long freaking drive. I know that.
So, Brady, when you guys do your investigations, how are you guys feeling like when you come home? Are you guys really drained? Are you guys really, you know what I mean? Are you like have like paranormal hangover?
Door, man.
Really?
That is the next day. I always know to expect from after Big Winnie. That was really my first one I've ever had. I was like, I'm tired, man, and it's happened every single time. That I get super drained. Are you the same way? Yeah, I mean, definite, without question.
Yeah, that's crazy.
See, I don't usually get too many effects because half the time I'm not there.
I have when I did a psychic walkthrough at a college here in Wisconsin, that's from like 1856 or 1850 something or other. After when I came home I was with my buddy Josh, and the next day was dragged. I had to go to a Paracon the next day up in Janesville.
Whoa.
Excuse me. And I was dragging ass. Oh my, I mean, I was driving I was kind of just like, I felt like I was stoned. I mean, I was seriously, I mean, I was just like, okay, I need to probably guard myself a little bit better or whatever, because so I can relate to that. But
no, like when we go places though, the energy's just, it's been wild, man. I mean, she is a different type of, I'm calling it. I tell her this all the time. She doesn't say anything. Every single time I go somewhere with her, it's insane. We always get voices. I don't understand it.
It is just living at home.
Yeah, I mean,
She's a ghost magnet. That's what it is.
We've always living at home. We hear stuff. We hear knocks. We hear.
While you're at home, in your house.
Yes. I mean, not even following us. This is going back to. I sent something into Dave Schrader at Beyond the Darkness like 5 years ago, asking him to help us out with something, because we used to literally see.
Yeah, that house was really.
Yeah, we used to literally see a little boy running around our house and stuff. I mean, like, I didn't see it. She did. So this is where I open up to where she may see things I do not.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. She can see different things. I have not seen a full apparition. She has seen plenty. I don't know if that's her gift over mine.
Well, Lexi, I'm gonna kind of put you on the spot, because I know that there's probably some things that you see more often than you want to admit.
Yeah.
Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't want. you don't want to freak out anybody in the family, and you kind of keep it to yourself a little bit.
Oh no.
She's getting open about it ever since we've
Yeah.
been doing this more than ever. You've
And it's
admitted
better
to
to be open about it.
Yeah, it's better.
Don't
to
hold
be-
it
I've always been the
inside.
weird one in the family anyway, so I mean.
Yeah.
No, there's times. No, there's
Nothing
times where
abnormal.
she has literally just said to me like, "Oh, there's somebody just standing right there," and I'm like, "What?" You know, and you've always just been that way. It's kind of just, and every location we've went, I'll video her. It's all on her, all the anomalies and stuff, and all of the, that's what you want to call them, orbs, anomalies. That's the word I'll go with it. I'll use the word orb.
Now, Brady, do you investigate by yourself at all?
Yeah. Like, you mean without her?
Yes.
No. Especially the situation with that I went through with my seizure and all that. No way.
Okay.
I made,
Split up, though.
we split up when we're at locations, absolutely. But I make sure that no, I wouldn't go by myself to a location. No.
Right.
But
I think that you
if
guys
we go to locations.
I mean-
if the question was, yeah, we do split up.
Yeah. I think you guys are probably, from what I could see and can tell, that you guys sticking together is more of a connection. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but they're more attracted to when you guys are both together.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a part at the
Yeah.
end of this episode that was one of the wildest things with camera interference I've ever seen. Like all of our cameras.
See, I would like to have her stand near my sensor board for about an hour.
Oh,
kinda
right.
hang out
Dude,
there.
I'm serious, man. Like,
Seriously.
All right.
Because I'd like to test without Lexi and then
Right,
put the
yeah,
Lexi in
yeah,
and take
yeah.
the Lexi out and
Yeah,
see,
I
see
still
if I get
have to
changes.
do
I'd
that.
be curious about
Yeah,
that.
I still have to be able to do that. But Shane, if you're coming for the Paracon in April,
Which we should be.
yep. So you'll have to bring your board.
Oh, it'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll have the Ghost CB too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Brady, where you're at right now, do you think that the area that you're in it's the same area that you were in before, right?
yeah,
When
absolutely.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
have you seen an uptick in activity since you've been back, or was it more just same as constant? You kind of know and sense what's going on, because I see a lot of it with the land, and I know you guys have sent me pictures of some crazy things.
You mean like
What-
activity at locations or in
Yeah,
our personal
yeah,
life?
yeah. Just even around your house or even around everywhere. Just the land itself is just like,
I think also some of the land, because what's funny is where we're living now. We lived here. When did we live? 10 years ago?
Yeah, 10 years ago.
No more than that.
Yeah.
12 years ago now.
Yeah.
And when our son was young, he would always like sit in his room. He was like 2.
Yeah.
Sit
Yeah,
in
around
his
2 years
room
old.
and he would tell us he's playing with a little girl. When he's outside, he'd point to her and say, "There she is right there." And
Yep.
then like I have a video, I'll try to find it.
okay.
Of like we're just sitting there and all of a sudden his like
Oh, the
remote
little
control,
girl.
yeah, his remote control car starts like driving around the road and he gets up and looks
Whoa.
at it like, what the heck is going on? It's just like driving around the floor. And I even like show the remote controls like over here in the truck's like here.
And at the time I wasn't home, so
That was all
so,
her.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I have,
maybe it has to do a little with the land of where we're at right now too.
How old is
Yeah,
he now?
Or
How
I don't know,
old
I've
is-
always
how-
had this
yeah,
boy and this girl that goes
how-
along with me everywhere, but
How old is he now?
he's gonna be 13
Oh wow.
Yeah.
in June.
yep, we have
Wow.
a 13.
For your
Katie
teenager?
wants to know, does Lexi affect stream lights?
How many times at night do we walk by and lights shut off?
Yeah.
Like
she
that's
does.
gotta be coincidental.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need to have a board session.
Yeah.
No,
No,
man, just let
kidding.
us know. We'll make something work.
Right?
Yeah, we'll get together. It'll be great.
Yeah, and I would agree. I think I've told Lexi this before too. Does she have ability? Yeah. Lexi does have abilities.
I do
yeah,
not.
No.
I don't either, so
No.
that's okay, Brady. We'll do
No,
it.
man, like I
No.
know the equipment side of things, not as
That's
much as
me.
you do, but I can go.
Yeah.
I get the tech side of things, you know.
I'm as psychic as a rock, so
Yeah.
hey, you know.
Yeah, I let her. She can feel something out at a building way more than I can.
Yeah,
she'll
my
look
wife
at it.
can feel stuff too, but I never do.
Right. So
Yeah,
Lexi, when you're driving up to a location, or even if you're going to a restaurant, you ever get to place like an old restaurant or someplace you're like, and you just get that feeling and that energy. It's kind of
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, and there's certain
Yeah.
places like I just have to like touch it you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's,
Yep.
yeah. My wife
Yeah.
does
I just
that
feel
too.
like I just need to feel it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I do. I'll walk in, I'll just like stroke the wall. I don't know.
Right. Well, that's the easiest way to make if you're trying to figure out what it is. The best way to do it is touch it. You know, there was a place in Colorado that I went to up in the mountains, and I was having lunch with my wife Tina, and it was an old jail from the Old West, and there was a jail cell door that was right next to me on the wall, you know, as like decoration, and the energy that was coming off that was just insane. Needless to say, it was hard for me to enjoy my lunch, but
Wow.
I mean,
never
but
had
yeah,
that problem.
oh no, yeah, I've gone into certain places, you know, like Lexi has too, and gone into certain places where the energy is just off the charts, and you can kind of just guide it away where you're just focusing on what you're trying to do, but sometimes it just gets to the point where it's overwhelming. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's
I
just-
got the only feeling I've ever had of just was when I went to the Boyd House in Boyd, Minnesota. I really felt that. I could just feel it there, man. When I walked in, I mean, that was a really heavy place.
that was
not for you, but for me.
I'm like, I could just move right in.
But for me as a person, I could just feel, you know, something.
That was
in that house.
Shelley. Shelley owns that.
Jill Shelley, yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't get to meet her personally, but she allowed us to do the film.
Yeah. She was on the show. She was on the show a couple years ago talking about the Boyd House. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really, you know, infant died there by choking to death. Both the husband and wife died there. So I mean,
oh wow.
Yeah, I mean they're one of the original families of Boyd, Minnesota. So this house has been there from the beginning, and yeah, it had a story, man. It was a really, really deep place to be at. And
I saw some pictures.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I loved it.
I thought it.
I loved it.
Yeah, I really did. Awesome.
Now, Lexi, do you have to try to separate yourself a little bit sometimes at some of these locations? I mean, is it sometimes overwhelming for you?
So yeah, it does sometimes. I just have to, a lot of times I just have to go sit, and I always end up getting angry at some point.
Yeah. The
I
first,
don't know what it is.
Big Winnie, before we started doing our night filming and stuff, we were just arguing, man. We were just going.
I was also really hungry.
And then, you were hungry too, I guess. Yeah, we were hungry.
So you were hangry.
Yeah, we were grilling burgers before our investigation.
And it started raining on us when the grill's going. We just started it.
Yeah.
We made it though. But yeah, I do have to separate myself sometimes for a little bit because I just get really overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The place where I walked into a place where just recently where they were doing some renovations, and the energy was just off the charts, and I constantly had chills, and I was just like, holy crap, come on, really? You know, so it was just, so I can relate to that. I just wondered how you kind of deal with it. You know, I don't know.
See, I just need you guys for scouts. Find all those hot spots so I can drop my equipment down there. Tell me the hottest object in this room, and I'll set it right next to the thing.
Yeah. It's you guys are onto something here.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of people that experience a lot of stuff in the paranormal field that even aren't in the paranormal field and just can't understand why they're sensitive to that. You know.
Sure.
And it's some of these people I've talked to, you try to explain to them, they think I'm full of crap. I'm like, oh, okay, you know, but it's just, it's not a lot of people ask me, you know, why do you feel that you have to do what you do and all this other stuff? And it's like, I just feel that's what I'm led to do. But, you know,
absolutely,
like you guys,
that's how I feel too.
Yeah. You know, when you guys investigate and you guys put out the content that you put out and a lot of the history aspect, I mean, that's what you feel that you're led to do, you know, and a lot of people can benefit from that. And and it's not just about ghost hunting or anything like that. You know, the paranormal field is a bigger, broad spectrum of different things and opportunities and ideas and, you know, information. A lot of it's educating and information, you know. And I think what you guys do, you know, with your content and the history aspect and where people would not know about it, have you guys not done that? You know what I mean? And so I would have to say thank you for doing what you do because
I appreciate
you know
that,
there's a lot of paranormal people who are just starting out that can probably look to your stuff and be like, these guys got it going on. They know what they're doing, you know? And
Thank
so,
you.
you know,
I mean, I feel from the first episode to the second, and this third one, we really kicked it up a notch with how we filmed it and really brought it a different.
We're definitely learning.
We're learning, and I mean, in this one,
Right.
we did a really sharp job with. I believe I'm proud of it, and that takes a lot for us to be proud of our stuff. I think we have really good camera shots and for what we can do with what we have, you know.
Yeah.
And
I would agree.
And we released this episode trailer to the Hampton, Iowa Facebook group that they have, and it reached over like 15,000 views or whatever. Over not like the trailer, but people saw we went there. So it's kind of, whoa, people didn't know about this building at all in the history.
Right. That's what I mean. I mean, that's
a guy posted on Facebook. He's like, I pass this building every day going to work, and just I've always wondered, you know. And it's like, well, that's what it's all about, man. You know, it's teaching people the history that's it's, you know, history that's been there that no one knows about, and it's rewarding to know that we've taught people that. So.
Well, I want to thank you guys. I mean, this has been fun. This hour has gone by quick, so I want to thank you.
Just like thank you guys, man.
Yeah, thanks for being on here. You guys are fantastic. You guys can expect their latest episode of Chasing Paranormal coming out in April.
No, it'll be coming out probably late spring. You know.
Oh, late spring. Okay.
It'll be late spring. I'd probably say May. We'll probably be comfortable time.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead and plug your stuff.
Yeah. Go ahead and plug your stuff because that's.
Yeah. No. So we're going to be releasing our third episode, part 1, chapter 3. It is going to be called Locked Up because it was overnight, Lexi and I at the Franklin County Historic Jail in Hampton, Iowa. It's a full episode that we'll be releasing on Facebook and YouTube. And it's Facebook and YouTube's at Chasing Paranormal MN for Minnesota. And we'll be filming again in May, filming again this summer. So we'll be hitting our second season with our 5th episode. So we'll be going to Big Winnie again. That's in the future. So we'll have details on that. And then another place in Minnesota that not many know about. So it's going to be an awesome road ahead for us. So keep an eye on it, and we will be giving scoops constantly on what's going on in the world of Chasing Paranormal for you guys.
All right.
Nice.
So that's it.
Right. So I want to thank you again. You guys have been great.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Fun
Thanks,
show.
man. Thanks for the stories. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
No problem.
I figured you would like that. So yeah. So everybody who wants to check us out, you can check us out on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, you could find us. And this episode will be up probably tonight, so it'll be up probably about the next couple hours. So anybody that's listening that wants to listen to it, if they don't have time to watch it, you can check it out on everywhere you get your podcast. So on behalf of Studio 6 Paranormal Entertainment and Podcast, I want to thank our guests. I want to thank my co-hosts.
Thanks.
You guys have been awesome. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.
See you later.
See ya.